why we need to see positives in others. You know, this is a big challenge to all of us. And the challenge is you are either seeing somebody and looking out for their negatives, or you are looking out for their positives. But the bigger challenge is to be able to look at somebody who has hundreds or thousands or a bunch of negatives and be able to focus on not the negative, but the positive part of them. That is, actually, that's what this book teaches. This book is a book that is absolutely exceptional, and everybody needs to read this book. If you have not read this book, you've not read any of my books. The Law of Difference. This is going to be one of the most important books you will ever read. The Law of Difference is called. The Law of Difference. So, but because it teaches you how to do that. So, learning why we must see positives in others. Why we must see positives in others. That, I think why should be because God himself doesn't look out for the negatives in us. Do you think when God is looking at you, is looking and doing forensic research and forensic search on you to find out what are the evil things you have done and what are the wrong things that you did the last night? Do you think God is out there, you know, with a torchlight, trying to look into your dark places and, you know, find out why you are not fit, why you are not good enough? Do you think that's what God is busy doing? I don't think so, because that story of the woman that was caught in adultery points out and teaches us how God looks at people who have frailties, who have sin, people who are not perfect. That picture, that shows us how God looks at people, because the woman for sure was a sinner. She was definitely, maybe Galina, can you come? That woman was caught in the act. So the lady was caught in the act. So there is no denying the fact that she was actually involved in immorality. But then, the surprising thing about that story is that the rebuke of Jesus was not directed at her. Jesus' rebuke was directed at those people who were accusing her. So in Jesus' eyes, the fact that they were accusing her, that sin of accusation is more weighty. It's a more heavier sin than whatever she has done. That pointing of accusing fingers is more deadly than the sin of the lady herself. And then at the end of the conversation, even when Jesus had set her free from those people's attacks, somebody called in, I think it was Paul from India who called in one time and said, what he would have done as a pastor and what he expected most pastors today to have done is that, okay, all your accusers, he said, where are your accusers? He said, my accusers are not nowhere to be found. They have all disappeared. So Jesus was supposed to say, okay, you see your accusers are gone now. Now let me talk to you. That you did something wrong and you did this, you did this. Let me now scold you. Let me now rebuke you. At least not to disgrace you publicly, but let me rebuke you in private. Anybody will expect, even me probably I would have done that. Everybody will expect Jesus to at least do that. Even if you, Jesus, don't want to condemn her, but won't you correct her for what she did? But believe it or not, Jesus never rebuked her directly. Jesus never sat her down And he never started lecturing her. Don't you know that it's written in the law of Moses that you shouldn't do this? Don't you know that adultery is a sin? Can't you know that? Why should you do that? You are a married woman. Why should you go and... So what should you do with your husband now? Maybe your husband should just divorce you. Maybe your husband should just let you go. You don't deserve to be married. Okay, let's see. Go and confess to your husband, or go and repent, or go and... or what led you into it? Who did you sleep with? What did he do? Did he give you something? Did he? No talk, no conversation. Jesus himself, and who is Jesus, by the way? Jesus is the person that came to the earth to reveal to us God in all fullness. Jesus came to reveal God to us. That is, Jesus reveals to us God's response, God's reactions. So if you want to know how God will react, look at how Jesus reacted. Jesus was actually much more aggressively against Pharisees, Sadducees, who were hypocrites, than he responded to prostitutes, tax collectors, people who are, in our own eyes today, big sinners. And Jesus said, it's not what comes out of a person's, it's not what a person eats that defies him, but what comes out of him. So what I'm saying is, you see, the topic today is why we need to see positives in others. So we are talking of a situation whereby a lady, somebody is totally immersed in sin. She's at fault. She's guilty. So how do we see those kind of people who are guilty in our own eyes? How do we look at people like that who are totally faulty, who are unexcusable, you could say? So this is an example of such a case. Someone who is guilty, unexcusable. And Jesus didn't use the opportunity to scold her, to rebuke her, to scorn her. He extended grace. He extended understanding. So what I'm trying to say is that even when someone is, in our own eyes, totally evil, it is godly not to emphasize or focus on the evil that the person is doing. Don't emphasize, don't focus on the wrong that the person is doing, but rather focus on the 1% out of the 100%. Let's say she 99% evil, 99% guilty. From Jesus' example, we could see that God will rather focus on the 1% that is good, not paying attention to the 99% that is evil. Why? Because God is a God of love. And what does love do? Love covers multitude of sin. Love covers multitude of sin and focuses on one good feature in somebody. But when you lack love, when you don't know love, you know what you will do? Someone will have 99% positive. You will look inside that person to look at the 1% that is evil, 1% that is bad. You will look at the 1% that is bad. You will neglect all the 99% good things that she has. So you will be looking for the 1% where she's not perfect. That is what we would rather do. And when anybody does that, and anybody who does that, that is a proof to you and I that that person lacks love. It is lack of love that wants you to be focusing on people's failures, on people's sins, and on people's imperfections. Now, I'm not talking about doctrinal issues, you know. Even though this is on personal matters. This is on private life issues. When it comes to doctrine, though, Jesus did the opposite. Jesus was very strong. Jesus will actually go into the temple and physically beat people out of there. That's when it comes to doctrines and practices. But when it comes to individual believers' lives, she is God's servant. She is a believer in God. She works with God in her own way, and she resolves a problem with God. I don't touch her, and we don't judge people's personal lives. So he has his own lifestyle, but my own thing, we as Christians, we are supposed to be seeing the way God sees. And how does God see? God saw a woman who was caught in adultery, but God was seeing not as sin, was focusing on forgiveness. God was focusing on mercy. God, the only thing Jesus told her, where are your accusers? Number one. Number two, go and sin no more. No emphasis on the sin. Number one, where are your accusers? That is giving a protection. Where are your accusers? It means I am not one of them who are your accusers. I am not accusing you. So since I'm not accusing you, I'm your defender. I'm your protector. I'm on your side. That is strong for a woman. I just remembered now a very terrible scenario that I saw video on Facebook the other day, whereby a woman was caught, maybe she stole something or something like that, and the whole street gathered together. Africa is just, this was happening outside of the church. And the old streets, I'm sure some of them were believers. They gathered and stripped the lady naked as if they are without sin. I don't know why. It is not in the nature of women to be disgraced. I just want men to understand this. It is anti-nature that women should be disgraced. It is not. Okay, we men, right? We think men shouldn't be disgraced. That's what men are thinking of. My wife rebuked me or corrected me in public. A man shouldn't be disgraced. He's a man now. You don't talk about he's a man now. But women, the way they disgrace women in Africa, the way they humiliate women. But let me tell you, women are more sensitive 14 times more than men. So if you will say something to me, let's say she will say to me, if you will say to me, Pastor, you are foolish, or Sunday, you are foolish. Okay, I will just say that's your opinion. Maybe it pain me. Okay, well, I know I'm not foolish, I'll go. But if you go and tell a woman like that, she is going to suffer from that phrase for the whole day. And I tell you, beyond the whole day, that thing will not leave her for the whole week. And I tell you, beyond the whole week, she will still be, it depends on who says it, of course. But if the person who said it also is somebody that she knows or somebody that she's supposed to protect her, and now he's saying that, the husband or the family member, oh my, you are killing that girl. You are killing that girl alive. Or if you go and tell her, you are not beautiful. You are not beautiful. If you tell a girl she's not beautiful, not you, you are very beautiful today. Your dress is nice. But I'm just saying, if you tell a lady that you are not beautiful, you're killing her. You're killing her. You don't say that to a woman. So what I'm trying to say is that to now go in public where there were about 200 people and somebody will pluck a hair, somebody will pluck a dress, somebody will point a plant, you don't do that. You don't do that to a woman. I don't know how we could change that in the African context. How will we ever be able to, communicate? Women are not meant to be disgraced. That's what I'm trying to say. Even in family meetings, normally when they have family meetings, right? Let's say a man and a woman is having a case. What they normally do in Africa is that they will gather family members together. And you know who they always put the blame on? Everybody kind of see it as their duty to protect the man. And they put all the blame on the woman. No. It's the very opposite of what Jesus did. What did Jesus do? In this case, the woman was to blame. But in Africa these days, even when the man is to blame, not the woman at all, they will blame the woman. But in the case of Jesus, the woman was to blame. She was guilty. But Jesus knew the nature of men, of women, so strong. This Jesus said, when you get to know him, you will fall in love with him. This Jesus, when you get to know him, you will fall in love with him. I don't care if you're a man. I don't care if you're an old man. When you get to know Jesus, his heart. When you get to know Jesus, his softness, his delicacy, his correctness, his behavior, his gentlemanism, his mannerism. When you get to know Jesus, when you get to know Jesus, you will fall in love with him. Jesus is so detailed and he's so fragile, he's so delicate that he knows the intricacies of the inbuilt of the lady. He knows that it is against the nature of a woman to be disgraced and humiliated. So Jesus avoided it. Jesus did everything to avoid her being humiliated. You see, first of all, before Jesus could even tell her, go and sin no more, he first of all gave her protection. Where are your accusers? They're not here. I'm not one of your accusers. I'm on your side. That is protection for a woman. That means that woman is protected. Despite her sin, despite her imperfection, he knew that before he could tell her, go and sin no more, so that she will not receive that statement, go and sin no more, as a condemnation. Because women have that tendency. Even if you don't wish to condemn her, when she hears any negative on her or to her side, she begins to fantasize it and speculate and think Jesus is talking against, or you are talking against her. Jesus knows that nature as well. So he didn't even give her any room to speculate, so that she will not speculate that maybe he's also condemning me. He will not talk about a sin. He will not even mention to her, go and sin no more, until he has secured her peace first. Until he had secured her self-image. Until he has secured her integrity. Until he had given her protection. So after he had given her protection, where are your accusers? They're nowhere. Forget about them. I'm on your side. Don't mind them. Now, listen. You go, Jerry. Just make sure you don't sin anymore. I set you free. I'm not stoning you. I liberated you. Just don't sin anymore, okay? He's not asking any question. Because by the process, by the time you begin to ask any question, so where did it happen? With who? What led you to it? But why now? You know now. You are bringing her to shame. You are bringing her to disrepute. You are bringing her to you are humiliating her. So, but the idea of what I'm trying to say today is basically that why we need to see positives in people. Even in the most horrible situations, even in the most horrible circumstances, when we will say, she deserves it, or he deserves it, even then, you still have to endeavor to see positive in people. So when somebody has 99% negative, but 1% positive, look for that 1% positive and focus on the positive instead of on the negative. Even if there is only 1 out of 99, look for it and focus on it. And if somebody has But don't be like the other guys who's somebody has 99% positive and only one negative, and you don't see anything positive, only that one negative you see. That is how Satan sees. That's not how love sees, and God is love. So Jesus came to show us how God sees and how God, how God behaves. So it is in line. Whatever Jesus does is a revelation to us of how God thinks. Let's see another situation. You remember this situation as well? Another lady came, Mary, right, with the alabaster oil. With the alabaster oil, and she had a biography. She had a story. So that Mary Magdalene, or whatever, she was a prostitute in town, and people knew. As soon as she entered, people started murmuring, that's the prostitute there. But look at Jesus. Look at Jesus again. Look at Jesus. Look at my master. I'm telling you, if you get to discover Jesus, the reason why religious people are so wicked is because they don't know Jesus. And if you don't know Jesus, you don't know God. The reason why people are so, are so wicked and are so unpardoning and are so unforgiving is because they don't know the nature of God. Jesus knew the same information these people knew. Because they were saying, if he had been a prophet, if Jesus had been a prophet, he would have known that that lady is a sinner. He is not a prophet. If he had known. But you know what? What they don't know is that Jesus knew. Jesus knew that she was a sinner. Jesus knew that she was a prostitute. Jesus knew. But what they couldn't believe is they couldn't bring themselves to reconcile that Jesus knew, because in their own mind, there is no way Jesus would know that this lady is a prostitute and still tolerate her. There is no way that could happen. Jesus couldn't have known that this lady is a prostitute and she will still be tolerated. That's why they didn't know Jesus. They didn't know Jesus. Jesus knew that she was a prostitute. Jesus tolerated her and allowed her to come into the gathering, to the meeting. And in those days, women shouldn't come to meetings where men are seated. Even in some African countries today, also, you can only go to the kitchen and be cooking. You cannot go and be sitting down where all the men are sitting down. Who are you? Who be you? Who born you? That means who gave birth to you. You cannot sit down where the men of God are seated down without invitation. Who invited you here? And I saw that when I was in Africa myself. There was a certain Jew that really wanted to see me in Nigeria one time when I was in Nigeria. And I was traveling from one state to the other. So, but they were running up. I mean, he came with all the Jews work with, what do you call it? Entourage. Yeah. With an entourage of assistants and pastors and bodyguards and protocol and PAs and all kind of people. So he had about 8 or 6 or 8 people, all the kind of jeep and cars. So I was in my hotel. Then I went down to downstairs to meet with them. I saw them, and he said all the drivers and all the assistants, all the security should go down. They should remain downstairs. So he said, but these ones are pastors. So he picked 4 of them also to come up. I said, you come up with me to my room. So he said his assistants also should come up. I said, because he wanted all of them to sit down there. I said, don't let all of them come. Let them come. He said, no, those ones are just, but let these ones come. These ones are the pastors. And they were not just pastors, they were pastors of branches and all that. So I said, yeah, let them come up. So I took them to my room because I had a suite. So when they got to my room, he entered to the room, and then all those ones was, so why did you let them come if they were going to stand outside the door of the room in the hotel, in the corridor? And I said, oh, so you want us to discuss something confidential? You mean they cannot hear what we need to discuss? He said, no, nothing confidential. I said, so why can't they come in? He said, because here in Nigeria, it is not allowed that GO will be sitting down to talk. And even if you are pastors, you cannot also sit down there if you are just junior pastors. only people of equal ranking. They must sit with themselves. But they are younger ranking, so they don't deserve to be there. I said, but you don't want anything secret. He said, no. He said, maybe I might, because the reason is because maybe you might have something secret. I said, but you they look for me to discuss now. How can I have something secret? I said, I don't have anything to secret. He said, yeah, so we can just fellowship here. I said, fellowship. I said, let them, but they came from downstairs to this 8th floor here. And then they are standing in the corridor. Let them enter now. He said, we didn't know, so we didn't just want to offend you because some people might not. I said, let them come, stop talking the grammar. So the people came in. Hey, I thought it was bad already. It was when they came into the room finished that I saw wonder. After they came to the room, we were talking for 10 minutes. I said, okay, he was making his case. Then 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. And these 4 people were just sitting down. No word, no contribution. I began to be suspecting, or what do you call it? Suspicious. I began to be suspicious, and I said, you mean for 1.5 hours, 4 people, not be 1, 4 cannot have anything to contribute? I said, so what is wrong with you people? You people cannot talk. They just smiled. I said, hey, your guys are not talking. So can't they contribute their own too? Are they not pastors? He said, They were looking at him, at the big guy. So I was saying, so what's wrong with them? Can't they talk? Don't they know English? I did not understand it. He said they understand that they are pastors. I said, so why are they not talking? He said, no, here in Nigeria, without permission, you cannot talk. If you are assistant like that, you cannot just contribute like that. They say it is protocol. That was the first time I heard the word protocol. Protocol. So you mean these people are sitting down here? I said, if you are sitting down here, we are talking. You have something to contribute, and you are not talking. They said, no, it is you are going to violate some. I said, if you have human head like this, my brain, and your brain is working, you want to contribute. Don't you know the topic? We know that. So what's the problem? They say, we have to ask our GO if we can talk. So I said, okay, GO, make them talk, because if they don't talk here, then there's no, because I cannot sit down in a place and I'm talking, other human beings like me are sitting down and they cannot talk, they are not contributing. I cannot feel myself okay. You cannot be quiet. You are making me to feel bad. I cannot sit here and I'm just talking. I want to hear their opinion. I want to hear what they happen for their head. So their GO said, yeah, go and talk. That is what that was one of the major surprises. So all those people, they are seeing you, even though these are human beings, okay, people, pastors too, but just because you are younger than me, you are already not needed. You cannot contribute already. You are already out. You are already cancelled. So that's what the topic is about. Why we need to see positives in others. We have to be looking for it aggressively, proactively, looking for positive in people. So when that Mary Magdalene came into the room, she was not meant there. See, it reminds me of Nigeria. But Jesus allowed her to stay in the meeting of the men. Because where the men and women were not allowed those days, they couldn't even vote. But then, Jesus didn't just allow her. That one is bad enough. But now the woman is so bold that she went and be pouring something on the head of Jesus. It's not like Gio is sitting down there, somebody bring water and pour on my head. They will beat you to death in that place. If it's happening in Africa, you are a dead man. They pour on my head, not be my leg. Oh. You crazy? That will never happen. Nobody will understand. But Jesus tolerated her. And people began to talk. He's not the prophet. How can he be the prophet? A prostitute? No. But you see, Jesus was not seeing prostitution. Jesus was seeing positives that are in her. He said, I came here, you didn't give me water, you didn't give me anything. But as long as this Bible will be read, people will remember her for what she has done. Because she is preparing me for my death. So Jesus is only saying positive. He knew about Graphio, he didn't remember. He didn't mention it. He knew that she was a prostitute. Jesus never mentioned it. If you get to know Jesus, like I said, if you get to know Jesus, you will fall in love with him. If you get to know Jesus, he's such a gentleman to the core. There is no way you will know Jesus without falling in love with him. He covered her. He neglected her past. He didn't even remind her about it. He didn't even mention it. He covered her and pointed to her future. It shall be said of her. It shall be. Forgot the past totally. Broke from the past and said, till the end of the earth, she shall be remembered. Prostitute, no prostitute. Pastor, no pastor. That's how we should be treating people. Only the positives should be our focus. You remember the one that, is it Samaritan? Is it Samaritan woman, right? That came to the well to get water. She was so promiscuous, she was changing husband like we are changing dress. Because at that time when she met Jesus, she had changed 6 men. And the one she was living with was it the 5th or the 6th or the 7th? Anyway, at least 5. She has changed at least 5 before she came to meet Jesus. By that time, I think she was living with the 6th or 7th man. So Jesus knew that, and Jesus told her that for her to know that, I know, but even though I know that, I'm still off. Jesus himself, where is the cup here? Anybody can give me a cup. Jesus himself was now the one offering. Jesus was offering her. Jesus was saying, okay, first of all, Jesus said, give me to drink. Jesus was provoking her to a talk. Give me to drink. He said, oh, but you people don't talk to us. Not even that the fact that, even without knowing her secret, a normal Jewish person will not even talk to her, even if she was a virgin. She will not talk, they will not talk to her because, she was coming from a lower caste. But now, knowing also her weaknesses and her sins and her trouble, that means double. Nobody should talk to her. But Jesus knew that she was Samaritan, that she was not Jewish. He was ready to talk to her. Then Jesus also knew that she was all messed up. And Jesus thought that it was deserving of her to stand to talk. Some of us will give anything to be with Jesus. Some of us will give our life to meet with Jesus. But here, Jesus counted her as worthy to spend time with. And once Jesus already told her about her life like that, Jesus now said, you know what? If you knew who I am, you'll be asking me. I will give you. Jesus himself was willing. This is a stranger woman, though. He said, I will give you water of life. Jesus, to want to give water to a woman, and not a clean woman, no. But the one that has met, that has changed 6 husbands. And Jesus said, I myself, I will give you water to drink. He will give water to drink. He will give her, the woman, water to drink, the sinner. Jesus thoughtful. Jesus is the real deal. Jesus is the real deal. That's why I say, when you get to meet Jesus, if you know who Jesus is, when you get to meet Jesus, you will fall in love with him. If you get to know Jesus, you will fall in love with him. Hello, guys. You guys want to help me today? Thank you. What do people think of this topic we are discussing today? You are the birthday boy. Let's hear the birthday boy's opinion and his friend.
sir.
Why we need to see positives in others. What are you thinking about all this discussion?
Well,
please come close.
This is pretty much a continuation of what we started yesterday. And I mean, you just understanding that in life is full of positive and negative. And it is impossible for you to see a human being who is without negatives. And even you yourself,
you dare
with negative.
You have your own negatives.
You have your negatives. But it takes a person who has an understanding of the value that even with the negatives with people, there is still positive. And that is the story of the woman. I mean, all of the stories you've shared about Jesus. That even though the woman was caught in adultery, which is obviously negative, she has positives. And so all you guys did was you just magnified her negatives
instead of her positives.
Instead of her positives. And so by magnifying her negatives, you just concluded that what we need to do is to judge her. Because as long as we magnify negatives in the lives of people, we'll always find reasons to want to
reject
judge,
them,
condemn, reject them. But the moment we shift our lenses and we shift our magnifying glasses from the negatives in others, and we begin to magnify the positives in them, what happens is that there is strength that we give to those people. We give them strength to begin to use their positivity to actually transform those negatives in their lives to become positives. And that's the power that Jesus used. When he met these people that had negatives, what he did was he magnified the positive that he saw in them. And by magnifying those positives, he gave them strength to overcome their negatives. And that's what he did with the woman by the well. Yes, she fornicated. Yes, she had many people that she was with who were not her husband. But by showing her that, hey, I see that you have positivity and I'm going to magnify it. What happened? Someone that she couldn't come to well. If you know that story, you would realize that she actually thought about the time that she was going to go to the well where people were not around. Because she targeted that time. That because of the shame, because of
stigma.
The stigma, the disposition of people to her negatives, she was so careful not to go out at a time where people would see her and judge her. So what did she do? She went out at a time where there was nobody around. And that was the reason why she was alone at the well.
And even Jesus was supposed to have gone to eat.
To eat.
But because of her, he missed his lunch.
He missed his lunch. And what did he do? It was with her, making her realize how important she is.
It was almost like taking her on a date.
Exactly.
Just her and Jesus, audience, one-on-one.
One audience. And the powerful thing about magnifying and seeing positives in people is that by seeing positives in people, even without effort, you empower them to become the best version of themselves. Because there is good in everyone, no matter how evil they appear now.
Why are we focusing on the evil?
It is because most times we see people from our own lens. Most times we look at people and we treat them the way we treat ourselves. So most people, they see themselves as evil, and
but who wants to admit to himself that he is evil?
But they're not going to do that. So what they do, just like the story of the woman that was caught in adultery. You see those guys that they brought the woman. Those guys had issues, though. And they definitely saw themselves, they had issues, but they didn't immediately see the issues in themselves. But what happened was, what Jesus did was that he now made them turn. You know how you can point one finger to somebody and the many fingers are pointing at you? So what Jesus did. And he said, hey, you're pointing fingers to this lady, saying that she's evil, she's negative. But you, okay, and I said, okay, no problem. All right, so no problem. But let anyone who does not have a negative. That's what he said. By saying, let's who is without sin. So they said, okay, since you guys are saying this woman has negatives, all right. So let's the person who brought her, who doesn't have a negative in his life, be the first to cast the stone. So now they were not able to look at themselves and then operate in the first level of truth, which is speaking the truth about yourself to yourself. So he made them say, hey, see, it's easy for you to pick up on the negatives of people, but have you said the truth to yourself? And what happened? These people that
So as long as we will be telling the truth to ourselves. So if I observe the first level of truth, which is telling the truth
about myself
to myself, as long as I do that, if I really do that, I will never point out to anything.
I tell you. Yeah,
we are not talking about doctrines and practices.
No.
We are talking about people's lives.
Just personal lives.
Yeah. So because if I will say the truth to myself about myself, I will always know that even me, I'm not perfect.
I'm telling you.
So as long as I will even, and that's just the number one level of truth.
That's the first level.
So as even with the number one level, we are not talking about the rest.
That level.
So anyone that lives in even number one level of truth will never condemn others.
We won't condemn it.
You will just be like Jesus.
You will see positive in other people.
That's great.
That's the truth. That is
positive.
You will see positive in other people.
You not talk. You won't talk of less.
Yeah, because I mean that's the foundation for you to know that, hey, before I even say I want to talk to any other person, I have my own issues. I'm dealing with things myself. So why should me that I know it's just insincerity for you to be looking to see. I mean, because it's just like you're struggling with smoking, and because yours is obvious. And then I know I'm struggling with anger. And then I'll come and I'll tell you that I'm you. Who are you? You that you smoke. You're a sinner. I should condemn you. Oh, you have anger issues. Have you spoken to yourself and told yourself that, I have anger issues?
May God help me first.
God should help me first too, before I start looking at the negatives in you. So we really need to see positive in people, because when we see positive in people, one thing that is very important also is that when we begin to see positive in people, we are able to share our own positivity with them, and we are ready to also receive their own positivity. Why? Because you cannot give what you don't recognize, and you cannot also receive what you don't recognize. That is just the truth. If you don't recognize good, you can't give good. And if you don't recognize good, you can't receive good. So the reason why we have a lot of friction with people is because we can't recognize their positives. And what we're just saying is just negatives. So you are giving a negative vibe to them, and you are receiving a negative vibe also. So, but if we want to have a good cohesion with people, we must start looking at what is good about this person, and let me magnify it.
But what about if the thing that is not good there is 99%?
It's 99%. It's majority. The thing, that becomes very, very dicey because when somebody has 99% negative things, it is sincerely very difficult for you to find that one.
So you have to have a lot of patience.
Exactly. That's when other
long suffering
values like patience, long suffering, perseverance. But you cannot have all of these things without the idea and without the understanding of love. Because love does all of these things. And that's what 1 Corinthians 4 says. Love endures all things.
And it's long suffering.
Love is long suffering. Love does all of these things. But it is the understanding of the concept of love that will make you still stick with someone. Now, this is sincerely not easy, because ordinarily people gravitate towards wanting to look for the negatives of people. But when we, like you said, when we know Jesus, when we know him and we meet him,
And we
learn from him, we would understand what he understands. Amazing. We will understand what he understands. Because by understanding what he understands, we can function like him. Because God doesn't just function anyhow. There's an understanding that is initiating and that informs his decision. So that is the reason why while he was in the Zacchaeus' house, and people would have been saying, what is Jesus doing in a thief's house? Because Zacchaeus was first, so it was a tax collector, and in that time, tax collectors, they were tagged thieves.
Yeah, like corruption.
Because of corruption. So now Jesus was going to the house of a corrupt tax collector that people refer to as thief. It would have been very easy for him to just say, yeah,
politician.
It's like, oh, this guy, you're a corrupt politician. There's nothing that I have to do with you. But he understands something. And his understanding was that, in as much as this guy is corrupt, this guy has a heart. He knows the truth. He knows the truth. And that was the reason why when he showed up in Zacchaeus' house, he didn't tell Zacchaeus to pay back. Zacchaeus knew the truth and he paid back the exact amount, 4 times of what he had stolen.
Just for his love for truth.
Just for his love for truth. That Jesus recognized, that Jesus understood that beyond his theft, beyond his corruption as a tax leader.
But the ones who they go to church and we are pastoring and they don't return anything.
At all.
No love for truth.
At all. At all.
What will you say about that? Why we need to see positives in others?
For me, I would come from the angle of investment.
Okay.
That it takes you to have a positive forecast in any business, in any enterprise, in any person to ever invest in them. And I think this is what God did when the whole world was sinning, but yet he chose to invest his only begotten son. So he didn't see...
But how comes positive?
Yeah, because it was not what they were doing. It was who they really are and could become by the virtue of an intervention. And the same thing happens not just in the lives of people, but also in societies.
Okay.
So for instance, let us look at your project for Nigeria. Why?
They are human beings.
But what do they have to offer you now? Their mentality now, are they getting what you are saying?
No, they are
But what are you picturing? What is the picture in your mind for you to say, no, I'm going back there to intervene? There's a picture you must have seen in mind that looks different from what
the reality
is now. And if that picture was not positive, then there's nothing you are doing that will be worth it. Even the try will not be worth it. Mm-hmm. So, but your ability to look beyond what is now and see a picture in mind, that is how people inspire others to be better. That's how people invest in other people. That's how you can see a child on the street who seems to have no future, and you intervene in his life, pay for his tuition, he gets into school, and he also learns that and is able to pay it forward. And you find out a whole chain of intervention goes out like that, just because you're able to find a positive in just one person.
But what about Nigerian Christians that go to church in their cars, pass by beggars, lames, Fulanis?
I tell you, the only reason why they are still doing that,
even pastors,
yes,
they build wall.
Yeah, fences.
Fences.
It is,
even from members.
Even not just even the ones they see on the street, but even when you listen to their reaction to national tragedies and you hear what they say.
Go and kill them.
Go and, if you see any Fulani, kill him, cut his head off, stuff like that. It is simply because of the inability to see positives. Because of the inability to see positives. In fact, to even talk about government, every government understands the positives in recession. What we call recession, that everybody is shouting. When in Senate lines, when they have that, They are what you've just given them is the ability to breed new billionaires, new millionaires that are different from what was happening before. That's what people are seeing when they see recession, because they know they are going to bounce back with new enterprises. That's what they see. So they see positives, and so they bounce back. But we don't see positives.
No, because I'm seeing picture of all churches in Nigeria in every street.
We don't see positives. So we never
because
invest.
if we see positives in people, we have churches in every street.
In every corner.
We don't even have beggar in every street. So even churches alone can do and remove everybody who is poor, who is a beggar, who is. True. We don't have beggar in every street.
No, but we have churches, at least 4.
In every street.
In fact,
so we even have more churches than beggars.
Yes.
So even if one church, every church will take care of one, we will clean up our country.
We would have sorted out, even if not everything, but most of the issues.
You know, talking about this.
Because you are talking about not just recognizing positives in them, but going to the extent, because you might just recognize positive and say, okay, it's an image and likeness of God.
Yes.
Okay, I will not despise him. And some people will tell you that today in Nigerian churches that, okay, I don't despise him. Only, I don't have to do anything. But you are even saying that don't just respect them. But if you really see positives, you will go to the extent of investing. Tell your story about what you are doing with the kids.
Yeah, okay. So
that you yourself, you are still a student today.
Yeah. So, and I always say it, I would have done it, but that would have been maybe when I'm settled. But when I read your book, worked on your book, Who Will Attend My Funeral, and I saw that I could actually die today, what would it be about me? Have I been closing my eyes to opportunities? And I looked at my own life too, and I saw that, in fact, I would
opportunities
never...
not to gain.
Not to gain, but to give. To be a blessing to people. And I looked at my own life too. Would I have graduated if 1, 2, 3, 4 people had not stood up to say, let's invest in me? What if they too said, when we are comfortable? So, looking at all of those, then I decided no. Even if it is one child that I'm able to bring out of the street, bring out of the house, and put back in school. If I don't even need to give him food though, I just need to get him to school. Because I understand what it means. I can hear their cry. And those cries are often mute. They are crying, but you will not hear.
No, but how can you see positive in people you don't even see? But you're there for Nigeria. You are not in Nigeria. You don't even pass them by on Sunday.
Well, sometimes too, but it doesn't have to be through my own way. Sometimes because of the things you've been through, and you've come out, and you are able to come out of, you are able to resonate, to relate. But sometimes you don't even have to be like that. You just need to pay more attention to people and see that even you, because the idea side is that no matter who the billionaire is today, there was a time he was a millionaire and was hoping to become a billionaire. Before he was a millionaire, there was a time he was in thousands and was hoping to get to millions. So it means everyone gradually increases. And it means even you, there was a time you were not you. And if someone had looked at you within the ramifications of what you were as of that time, not thinking of what you could have been now, then someone would never have seen positive in you.
No, but
so the same thing with those children on the street.
Okay.
The only difference is that they are at a lower strata than where you are or where you used to be. So if you can move from where you are to where you used to be, then with some investment, they too can.
No, but you don't have much now. You are just a student.
But I can see the need. And sometimes to see the need, sir, is not even that you, because most of the things we've done now are not even privately, all of them are not from my money. It's from the fact that I've been able to see a need and act towards it so that some children
champion it.
And some people are coming to say we want. I've not even announced it publicly because we are working on the structure and the foundation. So I don't want to collect public money without without the structure. So, but some people are still saying privately, arrangement privately, we want to join, and they're helping. So, but all it means
is for the heart,
to be there. And so, because the heart is there,
and to start,
people will join. People will join. You will inspire people to join. As long as it is genuine and there's accountability on your part, it will always grow. you can feed a
Okay, but some people want to say, okay, but do I need to, if I see positive, I need to act, eh?
You need to work on it.
So
it's not enough
faith
to just say.
without
Work is dead. I mean, anyone's
because some people might say, I will see for positive, I don't have anything against anybody.
No. What will now then be the difference between you and the one that does not see it? How will we know that you saw it? The evidence of you seeing it is that you acted on it.
Especially if the needs are there.
The needs are always there. That's why Jesus was saying the poor you will always have around you. Because the needs will always be there. So he's not saying that you neglect the need. He's saying that you recognize the need and act on it. So we must see the positive in other people because God saw the positive in us and invested in us. And today now, some of us are here and is expecting us to pay it back. And if you will ever be like
but
God,
what is surprising people who are watching right now is that, but you are not a millionaire yet.
no, me I 1,000 of them. I don't even have 100.
What must happen to a man like that? The heart?
Yeah, that's it.
The first thing you have to give is yourself.
Okay.
If you give yourself to that vision,
It doesn't matter if you have
To
anything in
people-
pocket or not.
everything you have will flow towards what you've given yourself to. It's just natural. That's why the first thing every man needs for anything to be built are men who are committed to a picture. It doesn't need their money first. Because once people are committed to that picture, to that vision, their resources will flow. So have you found the need? Have you found the positive in that person? And you give yourself to it. So I've given myself now that in my own generation, in fact, the narrative of illiterates in Nigeria is going to be reduced. And we are even on this one, we are still on the first stage. Because the second stage is that we are now going to give them homeschooling. I mean, self-education. We are going to introduce it to them in a way they've never seen it before. But still on the first one of putting them in a formal school, we've done that. But all of these plans are coming. I'm not just putting them in school.
So you are not waiting for the government to eradicate illiteracy.
There's no government in the world.
So you want to take the challenge on yourself,
yes,
to eradicate illiteracy,
yes,
from Nigeria as a whole.
As long as it depends on me, that narrative is going to change. Because we'll start from putting them
Because you see the need.
Yes.
But they are not your relatives, because the way people only help people who are their relatives.
Truth be told,
Even church members, they don't help.
Truth be told, sir, those parents, when they want to call and say, I want to talk to me, I say, no, just talk to the person who, because we always have a middleman who get them. I don't even want to hear the thank you.
Your staff.
I don't even want to hear the thank you. Because at the end of the day, this is all I see. This is enough thank you for me. I want this to come out. So it's
The
not,
potential in them.
The potential in them.
The positives.
The positives.
In those people that you don't know.
So I'll tell you a story today. There was a lady who just won cowbell mathematics. She's been transferred to a new school now. She was just breaking all those academic records in Nigeria. She came from all those public schools. Those Ansarudin, AUL, what they call it. That's where she came from, in Osun State. Today now she's breaking records in mathematics in Nigeria. That kid that is hawking on the street could just have been her. And all she needs is just, sometimes all we need is just number one, just one little push. And if someone gives you that little push, sometimes that's all you need for life. Can you be the one who sees positive in somebody else and is giving him that push?
No, but I have an issue. I'm feeling what people are experiencing. What is your own game? Because what people have been taught is that give and it shall be given to you. Press down.
Shaking together.
So why should you, okay, if you are not going to your village to do it, you are doing it across Nigeria. Because that's what is bothering people right now.
What is your own game?
Because everyone sees it. Are you more interested in God? So what is motivating you?
Truth be told, when I see those people, I see myself. And that is my gain. That this was me. This is me. So if this guy is in school, I am also in school. And that's my gain. So that I can see the positive in them, just as there's a positive in me. and I always need investment. And there's none of you who can tell me you were never invested in. Because sometimes, sir, the reason why you feel like that is because someone from outside is not coming to do that. Your parents are doing it. Your parents are doing it. Your uncle did it. Your aunt did it. That's why you are where you are. Somebody invested in you. So the only difference is that these people don't have such people who are close to them to do it. But that person to invest in them could be
me or you.
And I tell parents, and parents who are watching this, please listen to this, please. The only reason why you are investing in your children, is because you want to live a better world. But oftentimes you forget that these people that are outside, that are not going to school, are not getting education,
area boys,
those guys who are becoming area boys eventually, they are going to be a part of the generation your own children will live in. And if you do not invest in them today, they will become these people who will be creating social vices then. So if you choose not to see the positive in them today, the negative in them that you are seeing and you are choosing not to invest in them will now manifest. They will now be the ones to begin to steal what your children are building. They will be the ones to kidnap your children. They will be the ones, to terrorize your children. So if you want to avoid that, as much as you invest in your children, look for just one, two.
No, but you made a statement when I did the Kingdom Fruit with you, that as little as $30 is enough to take a child back to school. Yes. Not just for 1 month. Because after we finish the program, people are getting in touch with me and say, so $30 a month, eh? But you said it's not $30 a month, though.
Sometimes even lesser.
Is it $30? A year, you can even do it.
A year.
Yeah, $30 could be enough for a whole year.
A whole year.
To keep a child out of school.
I'll bring him out of the house and put him in school.
Out of the street, out of Auckland, and put him in school.
There is
$30 a year.
There was someone, a year, sir.
A year.
There was someone who reached out to me after that, sir, and gave $100.
$3 in a month. Mm-hmm. He gave $100.
$100. In the 1 week after that, 4 kids were in school.
With $100? No, it's not possible.
We have the statistics. We have the data. It's something I can prove.
No, what about the photo?
I have the photo. I have the name. I have everything. Even on my phone, I can show it.
With $100?
The next week, 4 kids were in school. 4.
No, it's not possible. 4 kids.
4 kids were in school.
For $100? No, it's not possible.
4 kids were
for the whole year.
For the whole year.
No, it's not possible.
For the whole year.
No, it cannot be.
It is. Just $100.
No, people just don't. I don't.
I have the data.
What's the name of your organization? How can they find you? How can they get you?
So you can either write me on Facebook directly or just go to bamishaivictor.com and you will see our page here, 30 before 30. So you can write us from
See positive in people.
In people. Yeah. And I don't know their
But
parents.
how can you see positive in those children? They are too small now.
Because God has put positivity in every man.
Even those children.
What has only corrupted it is environment.
Yeah.
Circumstances.
Okay, what about the ones who are crawling on the ground? Do they have positivity?
God created every man for a purpose. Yeah. And that purpose is positive enough. Every man.
No, what about the Hausa beggars, the Fulani?
All of them have positivity in them. The only thing is that you are allowing circumstance to redesign what God created them for. So if we stand up and fight for God's investment in them, that is the positivity we need to see.
No, if $100 is enough to take 4 children back to school, what about all the offerings and tithes that is going to churches every Sunday?
I don't know what they are doing with it. Because even this one that I'm talking about, most of it are in the western states and Abuja. So it means that because
outside it will be cheaper.
It will be cheaper. Because the first intervention we tried to do in Jos, it was about what am I saying? It was about $10-15
for a year.
For a year, for one child.
To keep one child in a year. A year is good.
That was in Plateau.
You they kill me, oh.
Plateau State.
You they kill me, oh.
Plateau State.
You they kill me, oh.
In Plateau State, we've not even got to Bono. Because the point is that governments have subsidized education for some of these people. So it's just the extra push that they need. But we don't even see it.
So the problem with Nigeria is probably not money, understanding.
Understanding and ability to see positive in other people. So we prefer to buy oranges from them, or take them as house help and house maids. And you see those ones they now take as housemaid. The negativity they see in them is the only child we see as a witch is not the child of someone. No. It's the one that they've taken as a maid, or that the cousin has put to stay with them. Their own children is never a witch or a wizard. It is those children that they've brought to stay with them that are always witches and wizards. They're always the one confessing. It's always housemates. We prefer to do that than to see positivity in them and invest in them. But we must change it.
No, but what is? Oh, sorry. What's wrong with me, sir? Will it come on? See. Is this rock?
It's not rocket science.
This is not a big revelation now. Just see positive for human being, for person. See positive in people. See the image and likeness of God in people. What's difficult in that one? Why should you now say, and I agree with you when you say that, and our problem is not just the money, but thinking pattern or what?
Yeah.
We cannot even think that, to think like this, the problem. Why can't GOs be teaching this one? If every church in Nigeria, all the GOs teach this one for one Sunday, and send all their church members that don't give titles, go and look for people and begin to see positive in the witches, in the wizard, in the children, in the orphans, in the widows, in the beggars, in the Fulanis.
In one month, we have transformed our society. Because the only reason why even most of these public schools are in decadence.
Why is this a revelation?
No, this is just basic humanity.
Elementary.
But the absence of this confirms to us that a lot of people have lost their humanity, even though they are mounting pulpit.
So what are they doing on pulpit?
Well, it's become some sort of decoration.
No, but they are talking some things there every Sunday. Some not only Sunday.
You know, there's something in psychiatry that is called neologism or paralogia. So there's paralogia.
They said loud.
There's paralogia and there's neologism. So paralogia is someone just talking, you can't even connect what they're saying.
Makes sense.
Neologism is this person is just saying new things. I mean, he's forming his own vocabulary, his own
Hebrew
language. So the idea is that the content of the speech is not understandable. It doesn't pass any sense. So a lot of pastors are doing that. No sense is being passed. The people come into the church.
You remember there was a video like that. One guy was praying. He was saying, today, your destiny shall never, when I was talking about syncretism, there was a man praying like that, praying in English. He was wearing coats, winter coat or something like that. So no, just sitting down like that. He was talking like that, very sharp. He was very intense in his talk. Today, your prayer, your destiny, I prophesy to you today. I speak something to you, sitting down, or just himself alone, not in the church.
So anyone can just climb up any day and just hold the microphone and say any nonsense. But where we will see the result is in what the people produce, the people listening to it produce.
So principles is what they don't teach or what?
They have abandoned it themselves. Let me not say they don't know it. So why would they teach it?
Because it's truth. Yeah. Is it not image of God? Those people, don't they have image of God? The people in the village and in the streets?
No, how can they have image of God? The only one with the image of God is the pastor, the set man. It's only the set man.
No, Victor, you are now taking to another level.
No, it's only the set man. Okay, why is it that those guys could not sit down with you?
Which guys?
The
ones okay. They were the assistants of the GO.
Because even the assistants has no positive. What does he have to contribute?
They're not members though.
So if they can do that to pastors, what would they do to members?
For the one that said she's a witch for Jesus.
That's why that one received slap.
Yeah, because she's not positive.
Because if he had seen positive in her, even if she were a witch, what would have happened that day was she would have been called for some special counseling.
Okay.
Not to slap her there, but she was slapped there because she was seen as someone
So they are not
had no
seeing
value.
the image of God in that lady at all, or likeness.
No. You can't see image of God and slap God now.
Yeah, that's true.
And you even think, church, they used to say their altar is the holiest place. That I mean altar.
Yes,
that's
holy
the,
of holies.
that's
Yeah.
where. And that was the place that they should even be seeing God more.
That's the place you shouldn't be slapping anybody.
So it will only tell me one thing: either God is not in that place,
Or you don't even see
or
God.
they just cannot see God. That's the only two explanations.
You also want to feed. Tell your program to people.
Yeah, we also work on feeding people.
Tell from
on the street.
yourself now.
All right,
Why?
from me, I was raised and I grew up understanding what it means to actually be in lack of food. Why?
You know what it means?
Yes, because I didn't live amongst the rich people. I mean, my parents they had just enough to feed us. But we had people that, like I said in my show today, we had people that were always coming to our house to eat food. And I always used to go with my mommy to go to the streets to feed people that were hungry.
Even though you people are still lacking.
We're still, I mean, we did have, sometimes we're like, Mommy, we've not even eaten enough at home. I mean, we're still trying to enjoy ourselves at home, but yet we still carry out of what we have and still go and give to people that are on the streets, people that are lacking food and hunger.
Maybe that's what that kind of kindness of your parents is what now can make you God is rewarding by making you to even meet me.
Yes, exactly.
To be able to receive this message of the kingdom.
That's so true.
Jesus said it cannot be given to any man unless it's given from above.
Yes.
Put that ready. Yes,
So,
right.
I mean, I know what it means. I've seen people that are hungry who are in need of food, to the state that they look emancipated actually, because they can't eat. And then God just placed that burden in my heart after I watched the video, looking at people hungry and almost about to die of hunger. And I was like, no, I can't just bypass it. I can't just...
No, but you are not working.
No. I mean...
And you are not a millionaire.
No.
But you are here in Ukraine.
In Ukraine.
So what did you decide to do?
So I decided to an intervention in Nigeria to feed people on the streets. And so
why you are here in Ukraine?
When I'm here in Ukraine.
And you are just a student.
Just a student. And
so that nobody will go to bed hungry.
Nobody will go to bed hungry.
But you know they receive tithe and offering now.
At all. And what will baffle you is that, I mean, I did the calculation also with my team, and it just takes $1 to get a meal.
In
Nigeria. Just $1. You can
to feed somebody.
To feed one person. And just to feed a soul, you need just $1. Just to feed a soul, you need just $1. I mean, you don't need so much money. That means to give.
So if I give you $100, you can feed
100 people
in Nigeria.
We'll give them one meal, as in a meal, packaged meal.
And you have started.
We've started.
While you are a student.
Yes.
Here in Ukraine.
Yes.
And you still have to pay your own school fees and everything.
Sponsoring ourselves. I mean, just to
can people partner with you?
Yes. They can contact me personally and Nojo on Facebook, and also we have a Facebook page that we're working on. We've uploaded some of our reach out.
So what's your dream concerning? You want to do it all over?
As in, my dream is to have a resource center in every local government in Nigeria, such a way that there will be no local government that is without a resource center that is to cater for the people who are on the streets who have no food to eat. And so this resource center is to function in such a way that we would have a food bank and a kitchen that will be able to give out raw materials, raw foodstuffs, and also have a kitchen that is operating 24/7. That people that are on the streets can come in to eat. And they can be guaranteed that they are not going to die of hunger. And also, not just giving them food to eat, but also to train them on how they can begin to even get themselves together, get their feet on the ground. And this thing, feeding, our first reach out, we fed close to 50 people thereabout, and we didn't spend up to $30 because it was our first reach out.
And people were, and it was okay. $30 was okay to feed people.
I have a representative that is in Nigeria. I believe she's watching too. She can testify. It doesn't take much to feed people, and there are people starving. As a matter of fact, I spoke with someone who is of great value to me, and I told the person that, hey, this is what I'm doing, and I sent the picture to the person saying, look at the picture of our reach out. We reach out to these people in Festac, and this was what happened. And the person asked me that, hey, this one that you are working now, are you sure that these people that are working with you in Nigeria, they won't take the food from you? I'm like, what do you mean by they will take the food from you? He said that there are many people that are hungry in Nigeria. People are hungry. People are looking for food.
Then they are the ones now. Let them eat now. If they are taking the food, it means they are hungry.
It means they are hungry.
Is it for them? Not for them?
Yes. So people are hungry, and just $1 can feed a soul in a day. And that's why we call the organization Feed a Soul Nigeria. That you just need $1 to feed one person. That means in a family you can feed somebody for one day, 3 square meal, $3 will feed them.
Are you serious?
And that's our dream. Our dream is to have a kitchen that will be cooking this food. So we're just supplying them with just materials. Just cook this food, let's package it, and let's go to the streets and give people food to eat. Children.
Amazing. And you people are just students yourself who are struggling here in a foreign land. Okay. What must somebody know that will make him to understand the need to respond to the hungry? That will make you to recognize the need to respond to children who are in the street with nothing of your own, but at the same time, all churches and pastors and GOs, millionaires, billionaires, anything you want, trillionaires, don't even think about it.
I think the first thing to realize is that there is no ownership. There is no ownership. No one has ownership of anything on earth. Even though you work hard, you don't. Life is given. Life is a gift, and everyone and everything.
So anything we have
was given to be a gift. So what I have is a gift for another person. Who I am, it must be a gift to another person. I think with that perspective, you can realize that if what you had been given, if you were not given, you could also have been in that situation. And so that's why you must work with the perspective of, I am a gift.
And I'm here.
And I'm here. So
I'm here for that purpose of being a gift.
Yes, and I must look for the person to whom that I was given as a gift to. So with that perspective, I believe that you will begin to look for people, and you will see that if there was no need, then you will never have been an answer. So why are we looking for people who are answers? Answers don't answer answers. Answers questions. And questions many times are in the form of the negative. They are in the form of a deficiency. They are in the form of lack. They are in some of problems. This is not yet problems. They are in the form of challenges. So if I can begin to look for this, then I can see that child actually has a lack. That child has a need. That child has a deficiency. But I am his gift.
True. And as a gift, you begin to see yourself as a channel. Because many times, many times, the reason why we can't see positive in others is because we see our lives and our families as the end.
Yes,
as the end.
That's the thing in Nigeria.
So because we see ourselves as the end, and
our family, relatives.
And our family and our relatives as the end, we are oblivious to every other thing outside. As a matter of fact, as we're talking, I was like, so we're going a step further. I think we have to come back to saying you have to see, because many people are not even seeing. Seeing positive is one thing entirely, But the ability to even see and notice is another thing entirely.
The need.
Yeah, I mean,
Just pay attention.
to just pay attention that, hey, I just bypass someone that is hungry. Oh. Do you know? I mean, people will bypass the hungry and they will not even recognize that somebody was there.
That's the book. What's the name of that book? Let the Heroes Arise.
Yes.
Let the heroes arise.
Personalities.
And I think this is one reason, sir, why we waste things, ranging from food to money to any other resource, even to time, because we never see need. Because, for example, in this world now, half of the food that are produced in this world go to waste.
Yes.
And you contribute to that.
Let me say that. Let me add to that.
Until I started buying
Food.
what I needed
Yes.
for a particular time. And so there was a time I lost money that was meant for this budgeted for that. And the next thing that was left was money for food. I still had to pay my obligation because I know that food is not enough, it's okay, but that I waste food and buy surplus is disastrous. But that's what a lot of us do. We waste food, we waste time, we waste money, we waste resource because we are not thinking that what we are wasting is what somebody else is looking for.
I mean, talking about wastage, that's one of the strategies that we also are trying to work on, because I mean, the amount of food that is wasted can feed the hungry. It will make them full and satisfied. Why am I saying that? Because I'm talking about the amount of food that is wasted individually, in families, in restaurants, in hotels. And that's why one of the strategies that we want to use is that we want to work hand in hand with hotels, with restaurants. That, because there are some restaurants that they can't take a food over the night. And so
all of them.
Yeah, most of them. So what they do is that they get the food and just straight away. But there are people that, I mean, for every night that there is a food that is about to waste, there are people that are ready to eat who don't have food to eat. But because we don't see ourselves as channels to meet the need, I mean, of what use is our existence if there is no need we're meeting? Well, we should be dead. I mean, what is the use if I'm not meeting a need? If there is not a person that is saying, thank God that you are alive. Thank God that you are alive, because if not because you are alive, I would have been lacking this and this. But that is the idea of what God wants us to live like. As a channel to be a channel that God can send his love to people who are on the streets, who need food to eat, and they want to know, what if they are saying, God, do you love me? God, do you love me? God, show me that you love me. And what they are saying is that, God, I need food. I need you to show me that you love me by getting food and me not to die. And God is saying, I want you to be a channel that I can extend my love to that guy on the street. That guy does not need preaching. That guy does not need bills. He does not need to even hear that I'm the Lord and Savior of his life. What that guy needs is give him food. And when you give him food, that food is his answer to the request he has given to God. That God, I need you to show me that you love me.
That food will preach more message.
That food will preach more message than your Jesus you are choking inside his throat. Or that guy that is or that child that is on the streets that is crying. That I can see my friend going to school and I cannot go to school. God, do you love me? Do you love me? And God uses someone and says, you go and take that guy from the streets and take him to the school. And what that guy is seeing is not just seeing education. What that guy is seeing, that God loves me. And God has answered my prayer. And he has sent someone that will take me from the streets and put me back to school.
How can this book help people get that message? Because some pastors might need to preach this. Because I'm saying, why are they not preaching these things in Nigeria? Can these books help get these pastors? They say, how can we preach? What can we preach to make our people become like this?
Let me start with this book. One thing that you said to start with this book, or I've read the book, is this. The law of difference. The law of difference. And
it's one of the most powerful books I've ever read, I've ever written.
Man, this book is so powerful because what it will do in you is that it will make you really wise. And because here you said that true wisdom,
Ability to see.
is the ability to see. You can't tell me that you are wise if you can't see. Oh, of what use is your wisdom if you can't see? If you can't see, you are blind. So we just have people who can't see, people who can't. I mean, that's why I say that. But we're talking about seeing positives. Some people can't even see. They can't even see to even pay attention that hey, there are people who are in need. I'm saying, Pastor, let's even leave streets, even in church. People that are in their services who are in need, who are broke, who need food, they can't even see. So, in this book, you would realize that what wisdom is that you have the ability to see and to notice the difference. I noticed that today you're not smiling. What's happening? You smile every time, but you're not smiling. What's happening today?
So we must teach every Christian.
Every Christian. How to
So this book, will you say every pastor or every Christian is?
At first, this book has to be a manual. I mean, I had to...
A manual?
A manual.
Where? For school?
For schools, for churches, and even as an individual, leadership training. Because this is what... I mean, what will lead to innovation? It is because you are able to see. I see that people are in need of a device to speak to their family members that are far. That's a need. So I'm like, okay, how can I bring
the
about
law
this?
of difference?
Or the law to see, to recognize difference.
How will you read these books? Not even among my books now. About concerning other books you have read. How will you read it?
You know something about your books, and not just this book, because I mean all of your books. What they do is that it's your books reveal and expose what life really is and what makes life and how to really maximize the life. That's what your books are. For example, the law of difference. I could imagine living my life not understanding the law of difference. I'll just bypass life and then I just die and there's nothing. Why? Because it is my ability to see the difference between me, that I can get food to eat and they can't eat. I mean, when we feed these people in Festac, it is close to a church. And these children, they gather around this church on Sundays hoping for help, hoping to people that they can beg from. So that's the reason why we even chose to reach out to them on Sunday morning, because that's when these people will come from wherever they are and come to church to expect maybe from church folks they will get money. But there are church people that will pass those children and not see anything there.
So you want to recommend it?
So this book is a must read for everyone. For you to be able to recognize and honor people. You see, you can't read this book and not honor people. You can't. You can't read this book and not have the value of honor. Because even the people that are the seemingly disadvantaged in life,
downtrodden,
down and out, nothing good that you can even associate with them, you would realize that in as much as they look like there is nothing good in them, understanding the law of difference would make you look beyond all of their present situation and circumstance and discover the benefit and the good in those people. And it will make you not just see it, but it will make you make a move. And that's the difference. Making a move. Because many people see and they're like, I don't have what it takes. I don't think I can do it. But no. When you're wise and you see the difference, if you see it and you don't take a move, you've not seen well.
Which one is this one?
This is Let Heroes Arise.
Okay.
So with Let Heroes Arise, you would be able to understand who is an hero, who is a hero. Because many times when they talk about heroes, you are thinking of one person who is a national figure.
But all of us, God wants all of us to become.
But you don't even have to be known to be a hero. You don't even have to be
But
celebrated.
now you are
as
a
such.
hero to those children. Everybody can
Because
become a hero.
all it takes to be a hero is to solve a problem.
Yeah.
To solve a problem. To live for a higher purpose. To discover why is it
So
that I'm
this book will make everybody that's watching here to become a hero. Through this book, you will live a life of legacy. This is how to live a legacy for life and eternity. It's called Let Heroes Arise. What about this one?
So let me even take some time just to allow people to see it. I am a person. Am I a personality? I mean, this book would make you understand the fact that you're a human being does not mean that you're a personality. That you being human doesn't equate you being a personality. And as a matter of fact, it is easy for you to just live as a biomass, because that can easily be your default system.
So what you people are doing right now is delivering people from being biomass.
Yes.
Yeah, you could just exist. You could
Just exist. It's easy.
That one is just breathe in
Just
and
breathe in and breathe out.
Even plants do it.
Animals,
Goats do it. Dogs do it. Lions do it.
So this one will teach us how to
from ourselves, from being a biomass or just an existing person
Yes.
to becoming a personality.
Because a lot of time we just live as the pet of life. So we are pets. The way human beings have animals and they pet it, and they really do not live anything rather than make people happy, make people smile. And so we
That's
tend
how
to
people are
become
giving back to children.
a
though.
pet, yeah, for life.
Like their own pet.
Yes. So we become a pet for the universe. Oh, as long as you can go and play football, come back, you make
Smile,
your friends
shout.
smile, and they are doing this program, you are able to watch it, and that's just all. You have become a pet to life. So this book delivers you from that. It brings you out of that mentality that you now
They're
begin
not
to
contributing.
see. Yeah. That what can I do to make my stand, to make people know that I was here. I actually was here. I actually
Human.
was here. I was human. I lived. I wasn't just existing. I lived. And everything is just.
So I was asking you, what are pastors doing in church? You said you are doing some two grammatical words that are too big for my grammar.
Neologism.
Yes.
Paralogia.
You said that is what they are doing.
They are inventing things you will never find in the Bible.
So I said, these are the things that pastors are these are the things that pastors are supposed to be teaching.
Yeah.
If these principles that are in this book have been taught to even 10% of Nigerian churches, we'll be talking about another thing now. So when you are saying that, what do you call those two words?
Paralogia and neologism.
So I remember one guy that it might be a perfect description of what we are saying. So is that what they are doing in Nigerian churches? Let's hear
You
it.
are rising from that pit of darkness now. Your stolen glory is restored back to you today.
Just talking.
Every door lock against you begin to
You have
open
to tell me how to qualify for the
The
most.
Lord God send fire and thunder to every region of darkness where they are fighting against your destiny. I pull down the strongholds of hell that rise against you. I pull down the strongholds of darkness that rise against you. I pull down the strongholds of hell that rise against your marriage. I pull down the strongholds of hell that rise against your finances. Anywhere you're watching me right now, begin to share the video. Begin to invite your friends. Begin to type amen. I decree by the authority of heaven. Fire rise for your sake. Fire rise for your sake. Thunder arise for your sake. Fire arise for your sake. Every power fighting you.
Wahala
I pull
break,
them down by fire by thunder.
Wahala break,
Every evil power fighting you. I pull them down by fire by thunder. In any occultist power, where they mention
Wahala
the
don't break.
let the thunder of heaven destroy them. Let the fire of heaven destroy them. Elijah prophesied and said that God will land the blood of Jezebel and the passage of Jezebel. And it came to pass. Here is somebody. Any power, any authoritative power that lock your womb, that say my child. Let God link their blood. Let God link their blood. Anybody that has ever vowed that not in their lifetime, that no good thing will come out of your father's house, I decree and I declare, since they have sold their soul to hell and they refuse to repent and to let you go, let God link up their blood. Let them fall down and die. Anybody that possesses evil power, that says you will bury your children, anybody that possesses evil power, that says you will bury your husband, anybody that possesses evil power, that says you will bury your wife, I decree by the authority, I command them to fall down and die. Let them lick their blood. In the mighty name of Jesus, I decree by the authority of heaven, who is that man, who is that woman that has ever vowed that you will never celebrate in your life? Arise, O God, and let your enemy be scattered. Let the fire of God destroy them. Let the fire of God consume them. Let the fire of God destroy them. Let the fire of God consume them. Who lock your door? Every door they have locked against you, I command those doors to open. Who lock your glory? Any glory they have locked and buried in the grave, I command your glory to resurrect them. Who bury your destiny? Any destiny they have buried, I command your destiny to resurrect them. Are you watching me right now? Anywhere you are watching me, if you can share this video, if you can type amen by fire, and if you can share this video and invite your friend, if I be a true prophet, before I finish this short video, your glory will escape from the hand of your enemy. Your destiny will escape from the hands of the enemy. Oh my God. Oh my God. They kill a whole cow to marine spirit, to make sure that they frustrate your marriage. They kill a whole cow to a shrine and to make sure they frustrate your destiny. They kill a whole cow to a juju priest to make sure you come back home the day. And I ask you just to type amen, you cannot type amen. And I ask you to share the video, you cannot share the video. Hey, I declare, whosoever that kill a cow because of your destiny, whosoever that kill a cow because of your marriage, whosoever that kill a cow because of your career, I call down fire upon them. Let that shrine catch fire. As I'm talking now, thunder is striking the juju priest. As I'm talking now, the shrine is catching fire. As I'm talking now, that evil shrine where they invoke your name, where they tie your destiny, that evil shrine where they are feeding you in the dream every day, every night when you sleep, they must feed you in the dream. I command that shrine to catch fire. 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 Every powerful man, every powerful woman, gbogbo alágbára tó ń kọjú ìjà sí ògùn ayé rẹ, àrá Ọlọ́run máa sún wọn, iná Ọlọ́run máa jó wọn, àrá Ọlọ́run máa sún wọn. Every powerful man, every powerful.
I'm done. Wait, how will this thing feed the poor? How will this resolve the hunger problem in Nigeria? How will this thing send the children to school? 10 million children that are out of school. How will this resolve the problem? How will people learn? Is this thing going to teach people how to become personality? The principles. Is this what people are doing in churches in Nigeria? Will this one teach people how to become heroes? Will these things make people to begin to see the difference on how to honor people? Make it come. Pastor, is it what people are doing in Nigerian churches? You have done this before. You used to do this. Before you met me.
This is what is obtainable. What's happening is that he's just trying to gain more likes. See, he has gotten 2 million views.
2 million views.
Yeah, he has
the guy is powerful.
Yes.
2 million views. It's true. Look at, make it big. Let's see the million views here. We have to see this.
He has gone far.
He's a tough guy.
So yeah, he's
a superhero.
He's making advancements.
Can you see 2 million views?
2 million views.
The guy is tough for bullshit, Ipakaji see-through. So be like a show it now. Can you see it? 2 million views. The guy is tough, oh. That guy is dangerous. These are the heroes. Me, I don't get 2 million views for my something.
2 million views account.
Despite all my best efforts, I don't even get 1 million views. This guy has got 2 million views and counting. These are the things that Nigerians are doing. So you say this is acceptable?
Pastor. I mean, this is it, and the side, this is the in thing. You go to the churches. I mean, this is what is happening.
This one they happen in Nigeria.
Yeah, and sadly, this. I mean, just going and look at all this prayer is praying. Just the shout of Amen, Amen.
People are typing in Amen, Amen, Amen.
That is just settling them. And that's the sad part.
Because what is settling them?
I mean, they're okay with just shouting amen that it has happened. That, for example,
they don't need evidence. They
don't
need
results. Just said, he was saying that I can see the Jew priest thunder as striking him down now.
How did he see it?
How did he see it? Well, people are like, hey, you are seeing it. Amen. 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 So, I mean,
so how will people learn how to be compassionate?
Nah.
How to love, how to see the principle?
Or that they can be heroes.
How they can be heroes.
Yeah. Or to move from being a biomass to being a personality. Nah. He's just making some things that he does not believe what he's even saying. I mean, can't you hear saying that? Share. His strategy is just share.
He said what?
Share. Just share, like, invite your friends. Share, like, invite your friends.
The witches and wizard again.
And then goes again with witches and wizard again. As in, he's just coming up with. I don't. These guys, they're just using their innovative mind for things that are useless. He's just coming out with different ideas. They are burying cow for you. They are doing
bury what?
Cow for it so that your door will not open. Just
what door? Somebody went and buried cow.
It's just very sad. But this is actually what is happening. I mean, I've attended.
It's popular. 2 million people.
2 million views.
You said you have attended.
I've attended meetings like this. I've gone.
And you are praying with them.
I went for meetings like this. I carried chair like this on top of my head.
No, it's not possible.
And we were praying with chair on top of my
Why
head.
chair? No, I heard of stone.
And I don't know. It's just that we should carry chair up. So we carried the chair that was down, and then we were praying with chair on our head.
No, it's not possible.
Pastor. Very funny things, in Nigeria. So you see things, you laugh. Very funny things, very, 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 very funny things. Very
Your eye don't see.
No. I mean this is this one is something we in Nigeria. Very sad. Now that's
and people are dying out of hunger. Economy is getting worse.
Yeah.
And it's becoming the poorest country in the world.
I'm telling you. Very sad.
All the prayers.
With all the prayers. And they will now come and they will still give money. They will still give their offering.
Because it's not prayers that develop country, that resolve national problems. That is principles.
Principles, knowledge.
Knowledge, principles, secrets.
Yeah. That's it. So this man is just looking for what to eat and looking for followers. That's it.
But it's working. 2 million.
He's working actually. He's working.
Over 2 million.
He's working.
And counting.
He's working.
You think they work?
They work.
But we have 300. The guy is going to 3 billion.
He needs to teach us how to do it.
And we are standing on 300. We start for 300.
When you see goat head, just like I can see a goat head.
Goat head?
God is bringing you out of.
You mention goat head?
No, I'm saying if you can just say that you have
goat head.
He's doing exploits.
So let's see here. You might want to think twice. Okay, let's see the topic again. Why we need to see positives in others. You might want to think twice before you talk about others because your words could reveal a lot about your own personality traits, even those you may not be aware of, or clues to whether you are kind or mean. That's why we try to see positive in others. When you begin to see negative in others, it shows that you yourself or have that negativity in you. Now, like I said, we're not talking about the issues of doctrines and practices like that. But when you are criticizing individuals, it means that you have issues as well. Romans 12:17 says, repay no one evil for evil. Even if they are evil, that is not a reason for you to be seeing evil in them, or to be focusing on evil in those people. Repay no evil for evil. Have regard for good things in the sight of all men. So look for good things. Regard means to look. See good things. Search out good things in people. Even if they are evil men, look for good things in them. That's the finding of there is a scientific research, a finding that says, a new study which concludes that the way you view others reveals a lot about who you are, including both good and bad. So it's not just Bible that says that. Even science is now confirming this. This is a new study that concludes that the way you view others reveals a lot about who you are, including both good and bad characteristics. Hebrews 13:18 says, pray for us, for we are confident that we have a good conscience in all things, desiring to live honorably. So the idea is that we should always, have good conscience, pray for people, keep good conscience, and live honorably. And if you want to live honorably, you will not be seeing negative in people. Seeing others positively reveals your own positive traits too. A person's tendency to describe other people in positive terms is an important indicator of the positivity of the person's own personality trait. 1 Thessalonians 5:15 says, see that no one renders evil for evil to anyone, but always pursue what is good, both for yourselves and for all. Pursue only what is good. Don't bother to render evil for evil. Don't even touch evil. Only what is good. So only see what is good in people, never what is evil. There are strong associations between positively judging others and how enthusiastic, happy, kind-hearted, cautious, emotionally stable, and capable the person describes his or herself and is described by others. So when the way you relate to others is the way you really are. Your own attitude towards others tells us more about yourself. If you are a mean person to people, it means that's who you are. Philippians 2:3-4 says, let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. So if we want to esteem others better than ourselves, we will not be seeing evil or speaking evil of them. To esteem others above ourselves is to see good in them. Let each of you look out not only for his own interest, but also for the interest of others. If you are looking for the interest of others, you will not be speaking evil of them. You'll be speaking good of them because you speak good of yourself. How positively people see others shows how satisfied they are with their own lives. If you are satisfied with your own lives, you will not be speaking evil or looking for evil to speak about others. If you are not satisfied with your life, that's when you will be carrying rumors about other people. And how much they are liked by others. 1 Thessalonians 5:21, test all things, hold fast what is good. You see, you can test all things, and when you test all things, you will see some negative one. But don't hold on to the negative one. Hold on to what is good. Negative perceptions of other people are linked to higher levels of narcissism and antisocial behavior. That is how psychopathic people are. Ephesians 4:32, and be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave us. So if we are kind to people, we will not be thinking evil or speaking evil about them. If we are tender-hearted about people, we will not be speaking evil about them. Forgiving one another. If people even wrong us, we will forgive them. Even as God in Christ forgave us. Now, for those people who are saying, but you are criticizing other people, like I said, those are issues of doctrine, and what God said we should do is what I'm doing. The Bible says that whenever anybody is preaching or a prophet is prophesying, that not just me should do that, all of us should do that. We should all sit down, or those ones who are observing what they are saying must judge. The Bible commands us to judge, not judge the person. We are not judging the individuals, but we are judging their doctrines. We are judging their teachings. We are judging their practices, because it's for the interest of the Church of Christ. We are standing in guard for the interest of the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ. So we are not judging individuals. We are judging their practices and their doctrines. That's what we are doing. And the Bible says that do not be partaker of evil, but expose the works of darkness. So we're exposing the work of darkness, but we love people. We love perpetrators. We love the EGOs. We love the pastors. We love the bishops. But we just have to expose the wrong doctrines that they are teaching the people.